Kiting in PvP is very important, and knowing where to kite against which opponent is super important. So when I go over these specific kite spots, just remember all of the reasons that you'll want to use those spots and what kind of spot it is. If you want more information on those kind of spots, then check out the Forest of Niflhel video in the playlist, but we're going to focus on the Skyhammer map in this video. Skyhammer heavily favors smaller scale fights because it's so hard for you to get kills, so people just end up splitting up instead of grouping up to get kills. And you need to know the terrain so that you can chase and get kills if you do decide to coordinate. If you're being chased from the A node, you can jump on this rock and go to the second step, then jump straight left, and then you can jump to the top, and that way you don't have to go up these stairs here and you can lose people. And from here you can go into A or you can go into mid. And to get to the point A, you can go over this jump pad. And once you're above the point, you will take fall damage, so you usually want to go to the right and then land on the node. You can get back up there from the node if you go up this ledge here, and you go as high as you can to the left, and then jump to the right point because that's closer to you. So jump from the highest to the nearest point. And yeah, you don't want to go in too far. Yeah, jump to the highest to the nearest. And then from here there are lots of options of going around here. You can jump over to these like pillars, platforms, but that's kind of a dead end. There's a no port spot here, so you can avoid thieves and revenants for a while if you stand here and you're pretty close to the node. You can go over here, and this is a pretty good spot for avoiding melee classes. So they'll usually, if you jump over here, they'll usually miss you. I missed it too. They usually miss the jump because it's such a narrow walkway. And then you can actually jump on this one too, and that one over there. And usually that'll save you from melee classes. You can sometimes walk around it, but yeah, it's pretty safe against like melee. And then there is the jump pads, of course, over here, which you can use, and there's no way to access this other than leaping, so this spot is pretty nice for getting around. And you can take these pillars and get over to mid. These little poles you can sort of stand on and jump on for no melee, but they're kind of short. And once you get into this like middle area, there's really only line of sight and the jump pads to get into mid, so it's not very safe against port classes for sure. But you can use this ledge here, so you want to look, there's a little bit of a spot that's higher up than the other spots. You want to jump and then wait a little bit and then forward, and then you can get, yeah, you can get that spot easily if you just go to this exact spot where it's a little bit raised, jump, and then press forward. And that's a pretty good spot because it's no port, pretty easy to get to, and it's in an area where there's usually no other spots like it. And obviously you can leap into the point C from there. And point C is very much similar to point A. You have the jump pad, which gets you over here. If you have a leap skill, you can get to this spot, which no one can access unless they come from above. And you have a little bit of a transition into mid from there. You can get up to the top by using the jump pad from here, and then from here you can go onto this rock and jump on top of the rock, and the rock will give you a little bit more line of sight, if I can make it, from the actual node. You can go up here and pretty easy jump. You just go to the far left because that's closer to you, and you can jump up there, and then from there you can go all the way up to the top. And then from the top you've got the usual stuff that you've got from over here. It's very low visibility. You can jump up this tree as well. The tree gives you even more height, and I usually don't go up the tree because if you're up here then people are usually gonna not follow you in the first place, but if they do follow you then yeah, you can go up the tree. Yeah, you can go over here. There is this spot as well, just like on the other side, but the middle piece doesn't come out, so it's a little bit less options there. You either go on the left side or you go on the right side, but there's no middle. You can port through these walls, which can allow you to escape being chased. And going down into this area, the only real exits are really far away. So if you can port up, you can actually juke people if they chase you down and they don't have any ports to come back up. And likewise, if you chase someone down there and you don't have any ports, it's likely that they can lose you. Over here, once you jump to this middle platform, this is a no port spot. Once you go into mid, there are a little bit more options here. So you can take the jump pad up, and there's a little narrow ledge here which you can climb up to the top, which is nice for avoiding melee classes. If you're going into the secondary objective, the hammer, you can actually jump on top of this little portal thingy here, and you can interact with the portal when the objective is up from above it. So you don't have to take fall damage if you want to go into it really quickly. Just land on top of this. And these little ledges over here as well work for that. Once you enter into the Skyhammer gate, you get a debuff on you that prevents you from going in and out for the next 10 seconds. So you can use that to kite in and out. But while you're inside, you can jump on top of these platforms, and these platforms will break when you get near them, but you can also use them as line of sight, but yeah, they will break. So you can't jump on the middle one, but you can jump on these side ones. And you can also jump on this little middle platform, which can give you a height advantage, while also line of sighting the portal entrance and exits. And if the enemy team gets the Skyhammer, you can avoid the hammer attack, which is 2 in a row. If you dodge it, it's unblockable. So if you try to block it, you'll get knocked down and you get a huge nuke. So you want to dodge it, and the timing of the dodge is very important. If you dodge too early, it can be okay because the end of your dodge animation can last long enough to dodge it. But if you dodge too late, then yeah, it's usually gonna be bad. So usually you want to dodge early, and that also allows you to double dodge if you have 2 dodges and you really aren't sure of the timing. There is this little thing here which you can jump on top of. It's very close to the node, but it's really not that high raised, so it's only good if the people are chasing you from over here and not from on the node, because the node itself is raised up. And then obviously you can take the jump pads up. From on here you can go inside. This is low visibility, and you can jump on top of this for no melee. And you can jump on top of these little ledges and go around. So you jump up here, and then you jump to this and stay close to the wall, and then jump around, and then this is a pretty good line of sight, no port spot. Below mid you have a lot of low visibility and line of sight, and there's also a lot of jukes you can do with these jump pads, because if you go up the jump pad, pretty much no melee classes can hit you, and then after they follow you up you can just go back down, and then you can just go on the jump pad again, and if they wait for you, then you can just decide not to go back down or not to take the jump pad up, and then you can just run away. And if they keep chasing you, then you keep creating this height distance with the jump pads. Here's a situation where I am chasing a soul beast, and it quickly becomes an outnumbered situation, so we'll see how I use the terrain here. So we're chasing, and from the mid node comes a second player. I have to go into my Elixir S, and I use the jump pad while I'm invulnerable so I don't get interrupted. I use the second layer of jump pad to get into the low visibility spot, and there are now 2 rangers chasing me. I put down my acid bomb in the close quarters so that they have to take my counter pressure, and I'm just spamming AoEs around me and precasting CCs when they come up the jump pads so that they can't really play around them, because if I go up the jump pad first, then they're like CC'd while they're coming up it afterwards, and they kind of have to take my damage. So Now I get a lot of counter pressure on them while using the jump pads and using the abilities that are very good to use while on the jump pads because they're very versatile. And I'm still getting chased here by multiple players, and it ends up that I am going to survive and get out of the situation. Here is a +1 on a side noder, and because side noders have so much survivability because of the terrain on this map, knowing it is very important to securing kills. And the holo goes in stealth here, so I immediately go to attack on the jump pad. Even though I can't see where they are, I know where they're about to be, and that gives me enough pressure to be able to land some cluster bombs while they're on the jump pad and to secure the kill without them having the time to resustain. So that's pretty much how you want to use the map to your advantage, not only to survive, but also to secure your kills. And if you like this kind of video, give it a like and subscribe, and check out the other kiting spots maps videos in the description below. And I will see you guys next time.